back when I was a kid, I used to always talk about duck bumps instead of goosebumps, and I'd always have a duck pond in my house when I was going to grow up and have the house of my dreams. But I didn't really know I was going to have a duck. God had a way of sending me miracle ducks. First came Harvey the duck. He healed people instantly, and God said he would talk. And he did. He asked, "What's your name?" He'd say, "Harv." Harvey died in my arms on his 6th birthday of a lung infection. 2 years later, Webster and Holly were given to me. Webster came to paint perfect pictures of exactly what we asked for. Holly, she came to be a pretty little model. Bobby came 2 years later. Bobby has a miracle as well, and her miracle is she is the only duck in the world that has tear ducts. She cries real tears like people for the same reason. Duck Soup is actually the money in the soup of life that's looking after the underprivileged people in unique ways. The lucky ducky drop. I go to the free food lines. I show up unexpectedly. I give them free tickets and say, "This is it. It's now." You want money? It's instant money, but only 3 of you are going to win. And I try to make it so it's just either just before Welfare Day or a couple of weeks after, depending on how it falls in the month, when they need it the most. They get featured in the newsletter, so it makes them famous in their community, and it's a little good for the self-esteem.
What can I say? I love Christmas.
That side of the street, yeah, it's like we got this one side of it. I'm going to the store and I'm having to get something anyways, so the duck gets an outing, gets a bit of playtime on the way back. She likes her public. She really gets excited about being with people. She wags her tail.
Oh, good. 9 years old.
It gives me the opportunity. I have never had, I grew up not being allowed to have friendships, so I grew up very isolated and very restricted, so that I never knew how to have a conversation with anybody unless I was entertaining them or teaching them something, or they were teaching me. So the duck opened up a new thing, because everybody wants to talk to each other, but they don't have that safe conversation. And now this is like a safe conversation, and the duck lady was threatening about that. And my specialty is a spiritual reading where
It's time to try.
you ask a specific question, and your spirit and my spirit move together, moving the pen, and they draw little cartoons. And I look at them and I see what you see, but as I look at them, they sort of move. If I have really strong energy, I will look at them and actually see the reality. You either have or have not. You're either helping or being helped. But there's no middle class. I see it seems to be gone. I grew up with very sadistic parents. Their punishments were unjust. They were kind of sick and twisted. Anyways, I would get beaten with the belt until welts would come up all over front and back of my body, because I'd have no clothes. I was not allowed to wear clothes when they were doing this, and I'd have to do it on the bed. And I was 5 years old, and this was the beginning when my mother would play around with other men. Every time my dad got angry at her, she'd push me, hit her instead, so it became a game. We beat up on the kid instead, and you get rid of your temperament. I went to the window, and I looked up at my bedroom window, and I said, "I want to go back. They don't want me here. They don't like me, and I don't like them." And my heart was just full of rage. And that's when the white light came down, just like in the movies, this cone, and it felt like the warmest, most wonderful hug in the world from your father. Okay. And I knew it wasn't God as in what I read in the Bible. I knew it was my Heavenly Father, my real Father, the one who put me here, and the only one that could take me back. and he showed me the movie of my life, all the highlights, and narrated it. I've never been a person who's been into drugs or alcohol or smoking or any of those funny things, but I do have health problems. There's multiple sclerosis, which makes me very tired. I deteriorate old and fast, but I got to the point where I was in the, I think, 9th or 10th year. I would have been given maybe 5 years more at the very most to live. And I got so weak that I was not able to do the fortune telling and keep bringing in the rent. I needed sleep, and I just was sleeping, and so no money was being made, and that's why I ended up on the street. When can I stop the litter out? When you crawl into that garbage bag to keep warm, that's when you know you're garbage. You're a throwaway, and you feel like garbage. I have, unfortunately, tried suicide. It's interesting trying to jump off a bridge. You can actually feel this invisible force. It's like an invisible person pushing you back.
So what motivates you to help others?
That's just the nature. You are what you are. You know, every once in a while you hit this negative state where you might hit a few months where you're saying, it's for me. No more people are going to take advantage of me. And you know, it's like that's your time to rejuvenate. You go in the background and heal yourself up. And then the first one you see that's out there that's needy is like, oh, I got to help that one. So it's your nature. It's something you just can't stop yourself from doing, like an addict. Can't stop themselves from drinking or smoking. Okay. There you go.